My AirPod right now, I can't even use them anymore, at least for this, because the left one is completely dead. It's just, it won't turn on, it won't charge, nothing. And I'm just like, bro, how does that just random? And it just randomly happened out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
I don't know, bro. That's the one thing I hate about Apple is like their products like are not built to last. They're built well and they work well, but they don't, for the most part, at least like the smaller gadgets like AirPods and like I feel like the Apple Pens don't work.
Well, even like, bro,
really
my phone, because I was just thinking about it the other day. My phone is only a year old right now because I got it not this past Christmas, but the past Christmas, because I remember I went home and my other phone had like broke, so I had to get a new one. So I've had it for like a year and a month or so, and it glitches. It's so weird. With my old iPhone, if I turn on low power mode, it still worked fine. Now, if I turn on low power mode at any point, my phone like glitches. It moves like so slow. And like if I click on something, it'll like, you can see it like pop up. It's not like just, how it's almost automatic most of the time. And I'm like, what? I have like one of the latest models. And I don't know, make it make sense, Apple, because
I have the iPhone 11.
See, that kind of makes sense, right? I mean, I get it. It should still be working fine. But that's like
for
4 generations now behind.
Exactly. So, like, that makes a little... How? How did this LED light start changing colors?
You guys didn't know, LED lights are a pain in the you-know-what. I lost my remote. His is tweaking.
Mine's so annoying. So, the circle light, if I move anything around it, it resets and starts flashing different colors. Like anything. I moved something that wasn't even touching it.
Hey, listen, if y'all wanna donate to the Catchin Up Podcast so we can upgrade the studio space, we'd appreciate that.
Bro.
We're not asking for much. We just want to get some new lights. So let us know, man.
I don't wanna be that guy that's always reminiscing. But do you still think the sesh when you say the Catchin Up Podcast?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I think that's just so natural because we did that for, 2.5 years? But yeah. Sometimes it'll like, whenever I think about saying the name, like, they both kind of come up, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the correct one. It's weird, bro.
Yeah, I'll be like, no, not the sesh.
Funny story. We
weird.
actually we had worked with another name for this podcast that was going to be the It's Always Something podcast, because literally it's always something happening, typically right before the podcast, but just in life in general. Like, how some bad happens or like something just throws off your day, and you're like, man, it's always something. So we're like, hey, we could do that, but I feel like that would have been. That would have been a long username. Or even if we like
it's always IAS.
It would have been the IAS podcast, which like might have gotten a bit confusing. I mean, cup probably doesn't make sense either, but like it's like cup. It's almost like a normal word,
Yeah, cup is a normal word. IAS.
Welcome back to the IAS podcast.
Yes.
I don't know if that sounds right, bro.
I also think if we stuck with the It's Always Something podcast, I feel like we would have to complain about something.
Yeah,
at least every podcast.
and
if not become a complaint.
I mean, we probably do anyways, but that actually kind of, I mean, that's actually an interesting premise. You should sell that. It's called the It's Always Something podcast, and you just get on there and complain.
All you do is complain about it.
I feel like somebody's got to do that.
We should just own
Let's just start another one. Let's just go 3 for 3.
Bro, I was like, you know what? At this rate, when we do our Patreon, we'll do that. It'll be It's Always Something podcast will only be on our Patreon.
All right, cool. Well, welcome back to, I guess not this week, but this Vault episode. This is our second recording in the Vault. So this is basically, if you didn't listen to, I guess the other one will come out first, but if you by chance didn't listen to our first Vault episode, these episodes are ones that we record a little bit back in time. from when we release them. We save them pretty much in case we ever need an episode if one of us has to take off or we just want to switch it up and throw one in for the fun of it. So if you forgot, my name is Tyler.
My name's Gabriel, and this is our past selves talking to future you. Now let's play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to start. Introducing Catchin Up Podcast.
Wow, that was a sick intro.
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever we paid did a pretty good job,
Yeah, no. I would have just
probably wouldn't hire him again. Gabe, I have a question for you. So,
I don't like these episodes.
When we posted our, so at the time of this recording, we really just started posting everything to our account in terms of logo and intro and what we're gonna be about. So yeah, one of Gabe's good friends and my friend as well, but he's a better friend of Gabe's than mine. I'd say Gabe's known him longer. Tommy recommended that.
Yeah, shout out Tommy Griffith.
He recommended that since our logo is a coffee cup and and the iced coffee and it's kind of incorporated that we should have a cup of coffee every episode. So where yours at, man? Because I got mine. Come on.
That's messed up. That's not even. That's barely a question. I got iced coffee in here.
That's barely a question.
I mean, bro, if I'm being completely honest, when I was thinking about the idea for the logo, because for those of you that don't know, I'm not gonna take any credit for anything because Tyler and I actually work very well as a team. Like we truly do. We both are very creative people. We both take criticism very well, and we both are very honest with each other. So we don't really ever feel like we need to hold back, unless it's gonna hurt my feelings. Then he usually holds back. But so I started coming up with the idea of the cup, but Tyler's the one that makes everything related to visuals. Like anything that you're like, wow, that's cool, Tyler made it. So I'm not gonna act like I made it. But I did come up with the idea of what it was. You didn't. He made it better than what I had in my head. Okay. No. But I came up with the idea of the CUP for the cup and then a coffee cup, and he made it into 1,000 times better than what I could have imagined. But when I was coming up with that, I was obviously, because you know how I am, I like to jump to 3 years in the future, assuming everything goes perfect. So I was like, how awesome would it be? Because I know Zane and Heath Unfiltered, their podcast, they also have their own coffee brand, coffee beans, and they sell it through their Patreon. And I was like, how sick would that be if we had something similar? You know what I mean? Yeah, so They I respect them a lot. Those guys are dope. I would love to do a collab with them or something. That'd be really cool. Episode. But yeah, because we know you watching. But yeah, bro. I think if we incorporated coffee a lot as time goes on and start getting more popular and people start knowing who we are. I think
it would be cool.
That'd be something cool.
I think for every episode except for the last vault, I typically go and get a Starbucks because I need a. It's a little bit earlier for me. It's about 11:30 for me when we record most of the time, and he's already at 2:30 p.m. So it's a little bit later for him.
Don't knock it though, because I work.
Yeah, so you kind of might need it
late. So for me, it's also 11
But I think it could be cool to obviously not every week try a new one because that would be a lot, and I don't really think there's that many coffee shops at least there. But to try a new spot and kind of give our review recommendation.
I don't know, bro. There's been a lot of new places here, and also it's one, I think it'd be cool if we incorporated that because that's actually a really good idea. Because then we could start doing stuff with local coffee shops. It'd almost be like a shout out, because then we could also go through the menu. You could be like, oh, I got just.
All right, bro. I ain't getting no matcha.
Saying a random one that's big. You don't. Okay. We don't need to try the same thing either. It could be for example, Double O's over by me, I got, the sandbar, and then you got,
Man,
I don't know, creamsicle coffee.
I'm telling you, whenever you come out here next, there's this spot called Honu. It's over by my girlfriend Bailey's house, and it's like a
which I still haven't met. No,
it's like a Hawaiian coffee spot, and they have one called the Ice Tsunami, and it's coffee, and it's like coconut, and I think some sort of like white chocolate or something. I don't know, but it's like the best coffee I think I've ever had. It's like coconut. I think I said that. I don't even know. It's got like a couple flavors in it, but it's so good. It's subtle. It's nice. It's creamy. And it's one of my, I usually get it when I'm up there, but, yeah, I got to take you when you come, bro, because I think you'd like it a lot.
Fine. Then since we're doing shout outs of when we're visiting, I'll take you to Create Coffee. It's in downtown Orlando, and they got this like really good coconut one too. But they're also, their marketing is crazy. It's really cool. But in the coffee shop, they have a like all white photo studio that you can rent out whenever you want too. So then maybe we can do a couple photo shoots.
Oh, you want to do a photo shoot with me? I'll have to get a fresh cut before I swing by. Okay, that's pretty interesting. That's cool. It's called Create, and you can create, I guess, whatever you want.
Yeah. But I think it's like create with like a Q.
Create?
I think. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay. I can't spell.
I've never heard that before.
Guys, just so you know, when we were making this podcast, I set up the Gmail and I spelt it wrong. And we were running with that for like 2 weeks before anyone noticed.
Offensive at all, but he basically spelled it as if Mike Tyson was saying our podcast.
The Catchin Up Podcast.
Yeah, he spelled it Cathin. Cathin.
The Catchin
right?
Up
Like
Podcast.
I feel like that's how.
That's actually kind of how I felt it. That's so
shade.
funny.
Mike, Mike's a goat, man.
Hey, maybe it is offensive, and then he can come on the pod and we can talk about it.
But hopefully he doesn't try to KO one of us.
Hopefully it's a playful beef.
He actually seems like a really nice dude, bro. He seems like he's.
Well, did you see that episode of Joe Rogan where he was talking about how he did one interview with Mike Tyson, super cool, super nice guy, chill, but then after he started boxing again, because remember, he's like picking up boxing again as an older guy, he said the next time he came on the podcast, Joe Rogan was like, I need a table in between us, because like, something
he probably
switched.
just has a different energy. Like I don't think he's like acting mean or anything, but I don't know. He's probably like a lot more ripped.
For sure.
He's probably in like really good condition now, and I feel like especially for him,
but I feel like
his mindset.
I feel like he's just like a different mindset because I don't know. It's because like you said, it's a different energy. It's a different mental game, and I don't know, bro. He might just seem more intimidating.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what.
Now that he's like, I'm getting back into like, I'll rip your heart out.
Think about it. I mean,
blood,
he basically, what I believe from what I don't watch too many interviews with him, but he kind of, after the boxing world took his time off, he like went and, had some trips and like just chilled out, and he really kind of just got more, I think, spiritual and like more just really connected to like the real world. And so he's obviously was probably a more, just calm and present person. But when I feel like for boxers, like especially if you're in that training mode, you're just like, that's all you're thinking about, so obviously you can go and do a podcast, but at the same time, you're like, I'm going to training right after this. I find that crazy though that he's picking it back up. Like I'm sure he can, but
I do too,
man.
I saw some videos of him training now, and I'm like, bro, I would still never mess with you.
And I think he's also helping, like fighters prepare. Like I know I don't know if this will be out already by the time, but the MMA and boxing crossover with Ngannou and Anthony Joshua, I think he's helping train Ngannou. He said, I don't know who that is, bro. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
But so update on the last Vault episode. Remember the guy at the bar?
How could I forget?
Very rude and disrespectful. Turns out this man is a boxer.
Wow. Maybe he trains with Tyson, bro. You better
So-
watch out.
I was gonna say, I was like, good thing I was at work.
You better
'cause I
get in the
would've
lab with
died.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, for real. But anyways, that was just a side note. Did you see that Ryan Garcia called out Sean O'Malley?
Yeah, but bro, I don't think he would stand a chance in the octagon, bro.
With Sean? Absolutely not. But I would love to see that
Yeah, I
fight.
mean, that's the thing is like, I think if they went in the octagon and were like, yeah, let's just punch. Maybe, honestly, because he's got really good defense. He's got really good boxing, obviously. But the thing is just like with MMA, they train kicks and feints and takedowns and pretending to take down. You know, there's just so many more levels to it that I'm like, it makes sense in a way, it makes more sense when a boxer goes over, when an MMA guy goes over to the boxing world, because they have somewhat trained boxing. I think most of the time they're still going to lose because boxing, you know, they train just boxing. It's different than like when you're training every form of martial arts. But I think it's way worse if a boxer tries to go over to MMA. Like, I feel like if an MMA person goes over to boxing, they have like a 50-50 shot, honestly, realistically. But when a boxer goes over to MMA, man, I probably give them like 10%. And that's like if they're in their prime, if they're really training hard. But even then, like, I mean, I just don't see it happening. You know, it's just like there's so much more to it.
MMA is intense, bro. That's what I'm saying. Is like you were mentioning the training aspects. It's almost like boxing is like a portion of MMA. MMA is way more than just boxing.
So you know, it makes sense when they both go over
sense.
to each other's sports. Like, obviously, the other person should win. But did you watch the Ngannou versus Tyson Fury fight or no? So he was basically, just real quick, he was basically one of the like top. Ngannou is like one of the top heavyweight UFC fighters, but then he had some contract disputes with UFC. They weren't like paying him what he wanted, so he went and joined another promotion. But he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna box Tyson Fury, who is the #1 heavyweight boxer in the world, and like he's been for a while, and he's undefeated." And Ngannou went in there and he knocked Tyson Fury down at one point, and he basically, in most people's eyes, beat him. Now, it did go to decision, and Fury ended up winning by, I think, split decision, which is insane that was even the outcome. I mean, for an MMA, this dude's never had a boxing fight. And I think he only started training MMA like not that long ago. I think it's only been like a decade or so, you know, which is relative. A lot of people have been doing it their whole life. So for him to go over, cross over, and a lot of people are like, oh, Tyson Fury wasn't like training hard for the fight and this and that. But I'm like, even still, like, you've been boxing your entire life. You're the top dog. Like, nobody in the world is supposed to be better than you. And you almost lose to this MMA fighter. It was pretty crazy. So now what I was talking about earlier with Anthony Joshua, he's now going up against another like top fighter as well. So if he wins or comes close to this, bro, that's going to be insane.
Well, I can't wait.
Yeah, maybe you should watch this one.
Maybe. Well, now that I work at a sports bar, I
true.
definitely
Especially
will.
if you're working on those nights, that's got to be kind of clutch.
Yeah, bro, it's nice too because like there's screens.
Yeah,
everywhere.
exactly.
So it's like it doesn't matter where you're working, you're watching the game. Like I watched the last
Do you guys
UFC
play
fight.
the actual audio?
For most fights, we do, unless because apparently there's this thing with like UFC that like you gotta like buy the rights for it for the sound. Like you can apparently show your like the video of the game or the match, whatever you want to call it, at the restaurant, but if they play audio and they don't have permission to play the audio, it's like a $5,000 fine.
That's insane. That is nuts. Yeah, let me do it. Quick check. That's crazy, bro. I didn't know that because that's what I've been kind of noticing recently. Because like back in the day when we would go to Ale House, which is like a big restaurant in Florida. I don't really know if it's anywhere else, but it's the spot if you ever go to Florida.
I don't know either. I don't
Get a
think so.
Mountain Melt. It'll change your life. It's so unhealthy. Yeah.
And a Captain Jack.
It'll be the most unhealthy meal of your life, but it'll be the best meal of your life. Anyways, they would always play the sounds, especially for like the big ones. But a lot of the bars I've been going out here to, if we like go out to watch a fight or a game or something, like they don't. And I'm like, it kind of takes out of the whole experience.
That's why. Yeah, if it's a smaller bar, they'll like. There's no point in like that's probably like half of what they made that night, or like a good portion of what they made that night. You know, so it's like a lot of them don't pay the I guess $5,000. That's what I was told. You know, someone can fact check me. I don't know the actual statistics of it, but that's just what I was told.
That makes sense
from my restaurant end.
Okay, so not to do a complete 180, but I'm gonna do a complete 180. So at my work they have this little park area where I go out and like have lunch because I like to get some fresh air after being in the freaking building all day. And the other day when I was out there was this. I mean, I don't know if they were a couple. I don't know if they just started dating. I don't know what the situation was, but they're out in the park. And they're laying on the grass, pretty much like just in the middle of the field. They're not like hiding behind a bush or like under a tree or something. They're just right out in the middle where anybody can see them. And there's people out there. There's like people with kids, other people having their break. And bro, they're just full on making out, dry humping, for a lack of a better word. Literally rolling each other over, like caressing each other. And I'm just like, bro, just go back to one of y'all's place, or like if you have roommates or whatever, just like go to your car. Like that's so, I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm not one to like. I mean, I think there is such thing. I guess the question I'm ultimately gonna ask is like, is there such thing as too much PDA? Because I know some people are like super against it, and some people are like kind of in the middle. Which I'm like, okay, I think a kiss is fine, holding hands, hugging, like, you know, all the normal things like of a healthy relationship. But if you're out there like just going at it, like that's way too much. There's just too much going on. Like, how do you not just like think to yourself like people are seeing this right now? I don't know, man. It's just
is there such thing as too much PDA? If that's the question, yes, absolutely. What is my take on PDA? I'm like that in the middle guy. I'm like, you know, PDA is like PDA, like it's natural. You know, holding hands, hugging,
same,
like kissing and stuff like that. But like in my when I say I'm like in the middle kind of guy, if it's like cute PDA, that's fine. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like you come behind your girl, give her a hug, give her a couple kisses on the cheek, you know, like that. Like that's fine. I don't care. You want to go like on a little picnic and lay down next to each other and like have your arm around one another. Yeah, I don't care. I honestly like I don't even care if like you make out for like 30 seconds. But like once you pass that, like if I have to look at you twice, if not 3 times, and just be like,
bro, that's what I'm saying. Because I was like trying because they were literally like right ahead of me because the bench I was sitting on was like viewing them, and I had my iPad and I was watching something, but every time I would look up, it was just a new position, just nonstop, and I was just
gosh.
bro, what? And like I said, there's kids out there, parents, like other people. Like it wasn't just, if it was just me, like I get it. Like we're the only 2 people there. Like I'm interrupting them at this point, right? But maybe I should go.
Park.
But I was not the first one out there either. So I was just like, bro, just go pay for a hotel at that point. Obviously, y'all got something to work out.
I'll pay for the hotel at that point. Like, geez. No, that's too much. Like making out on like having a little picnic, okay. But like you said, like they weren't like off to the side. They weren't under a tree. Like they were smack dab in the middle. So it's more of like, I think it's more like, what from the outsider, I'm like, what did you do to try to prevent this from being uncomfortable? Yeah. Like if you're off to the side, okay, well, you know, like.
And the thing is too,
like you tried
is that they weren't like teenagers. They were like our age range. You know what I mean? Like, or a little bit older. It looked like, and I'm like, you should know better.
Well, Tyler, we all know that, you know, wisdom and maturity and common sense does not come with age. So
you're right.
Who cares how old they were? No, but you're right. That does make it worse for sure. Because like in my head, I'm thinking, like,
they just like they have no like they don't care about the world. They're like whatever.
They're like whatever.
Like this is our moment. I'm gonna take over, but
no one's gonna ruin this.
I was just like, okay, this is
me and you against the world
to see, and it was like 1 o'clock, bro. Just like, I don't know. It's like y'all want to go get
5 o'clock
lunch,
somewhere, bro. That's crazy. No, that's too much. That's too much. Like I said, it's more like cute PDA, whatever. But like anything past cute,
you should tell your story about your walk when you came to visit me the first day you landed in LA.
Oh, bro. So, you know, little Orlando boy coming in to the big city of LA, visiting his best friend Ty.
That's me.
So I go and, you know, we're still working men. So Tyler had to pick me up and then just go to work, which is totally fine. I hung out at the picnic area that he was talking about. His plaza is actually very dope that he works at. So time flew by. But, you know, after, you know, halfway through an 8-hour shift, you get kind of bored of just sitting in one spot. So I was like, oh, there's some stores down the street that's like not even a mile away. Let me just go there and like check those out, right? So and then I'm walking down the street. I got my AirPods in. I'm looking.
He's like
I'm
in LA. No, I just got like so crazy.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. Like I'm wearing like a nice baby blue Nike sweater. I got my AirPods on. I got my backpack, some baggy pants. Like just I still like in my airplane fit. You know, I'm just chilling, walking down the street, listening to like the sun.
Taylor Swift.
How does that Party in the USA start?
Okay, I wasn't far off.
I walked in a cab at LAX and the dream that I can't again. Yeah, you know, like just that type of vibe. And I'm walking, and there I was going under this bridge, right? This overpass. And on the sidewalk, there's the wall, you know, for the bridge. And then there's a tent. And then I looked, and the opening of the tent was facing the wall. So, like, I had to either go around it. Like, if the microphone's the tent, and this is the wall, I either had to go in between them, or I had to go around the tent onto the street. And I'm like, the opening of the tent is facing the wall. So I was like, that's how people get kidnapped. You're not even going to see me be taken. So I was like, I'm just going to go around. I'm not going to disturb this person's house. If it was my property, I wouldn't want them on it either. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to go around. And then this lady, drugged out, unfortunately. But she was just like... She like pops her head out of the tent, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, I just like look down, I keep walking. And like, remember, I have my AirPods in, the noise cancellation is pretty decent. But she starts walking towards me, and she's like screaming at me, cussing me out, calling me the F word.
If you know what that means.
If you know what that means, hopefully you do, because I'm not going to say it on the podcast and get canceled before our first season even ends. But she was calling me the F word for some reason, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I managed to walk around the tent, and then, but the tent was probably like, I don't know, like 20, 30 feet away from the corner where the stop sign was, where I had to cross. So I had to stand there, and like, at first, like when I walked around, like she went back in her tent. I was like, okay, cool. The you know, she's tamed. And then I hear her screaming at me again, calling me the F word again, like, get out of here, all this stuff. Keep in mind, I'm just standing straight, looking the other way. Like, I'm not even paying attention to her. And then this woman decides to grab, if you've ever built a tent, they are made of these like plastic black rods with metal tips. Girl chucks it at me and just nails me right in the ribs. And then she starts cussing at me even more and getting closer. And I like, as of right now, I'm still looking down, not saying anything. But then when she hit me, I got angry, of course, and she started walking towards me. So in my head, I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen. But I look up, and there was like 6 cars. I'm like, it's either they're all gonna let me go so I can like get away from this woman, or these 6 cars are gonna get a video of me going down and beating up this woman because like I was just so confused. And that happened the first like I don't know like a couple hours I was there, not even the first 24. But the bright side is I did make it to the store that I wanted to go check out. And then I told them because they're like, oh, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, Orlando, I'm visiting here, my boy. And I told them what happened on the way there. And they felt so bad that they gave me a free beanie.
Dang,
so
there you go.
Cool.
She was like...
Yeah, everything has been for. But then I had to walk back that way. And I had to like... I just like walked in the middle of the road. I was like, because luckily there was no cars. There was no cars, but I wanted to go on the other sidewalk where her tent was, so like right across. But then down that sidewalk was another tent. So I was like, I'm just gonna go in the middle of the road. I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with this.
It would be better to just get hit at this point than get in another altercation.
Yeah, at least I'll get some insurance
she was
money.
Just like, you teenagers, stay off my lawn.
No, straight up, bro. And the thing is, like, she saw me coming, and I wasn't even near her. Like, I avoided it at all costs because, like, I also get it. Like, just because she might have not been drugged out, I don't know, but because I get like when you're homeless,
maybe she
like
just
people
woke up on the wrong side of the bed, bro.
You mean the tent? She woke up facing the street instead of the wall.
We're terrible.
But yeah, so that was my first 24 hours in LA. And then I was telling his friends, some of them have been there a year, some of them been there a couple years, and like none of them have ever had an encounter like that. And yet my first 24 hours.
Bro, you just fell into the newbie LA trap. You walked around. You gotta plan out your walks, bro. You gotta look it up on maps. You gotta make sure if there's any reviews or anything. About the walk. There's like Yelp reviews for each street.
Yeah, if you're gonna take this route, don't.
Yeah, I'm like, so yeah, I mean that's the thing, bro. LA is a very interesting place to say the least. There's a lot going on everywhere, but that was really funny. That was crazy. He just like comes back to my job. He's like, "Yo," and I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, I told his manager too.
Yeah, and we were all pleasantly surprised by this. But hey, now when he comes here, nothing can shake him. He's ready for the copters.
Yeah, for real.
Well, bro, we can even tell the story of the time when we came here.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I remember it pretty vividly.
Yeah, you started.
So we back before I moved here, we came to like visit and like check out places and just kind of get a lay of the land in different areas. And so one night we were here. It was like a Saturday night. We're like, yeah, let's like see what's up. It's LA. It's got to be something happening. So we didn't really know exactly where to go. So we decided to go. Was it Hollywood or was it downtown? Yeah. Okay, so we decided.
I thought it was downtown Hollywood.
We decided to go out somewhere in Hollywood, and we, like I said, we're like I've never been here before. I think he might have been, but a while ago. Yeah.
When I was a kid,
the parking situation, everything's just crazy. So we finally found a parking spot in this like really, really sketch looking lot. It had like maybe 10 spaces in it. And where we parked, there's literally glass just all over the parking spots. Yeah.
Like window, like shattered
car window glass. And we're in a rental at this point. So we're like, okay, well, at least we got the insurance in case anything goes down while we're not here. But, we didn't leave anything in the car that would instigate that. So anyways, we start walking to the club we're trying to go to. And we're just walking along. And I would say probably about like 3 minutes into our walk, these cop cars just start like driving by, and they got their lights on, they're kind of speeding a little bit, but I'm like, oh, okay, it's LA. Like, I mean, there's probably something going on. It's a hip and happening area. There's probably a fight or something, whatever. And then all of a sudden, these cops like stop, get out of their car, and start sprinting past us, like hustling.
Like
yeah,
six
they
of
weren't
them.
just like jogging or like they're like sprinting. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I've never seen that before. Like in downtown Orlando, I've seen some cop cars. I've never seen cops get out of their car and start sprinting. They then start like blocking off the roads. And I'm like, all right, listen, guys, we gotta like turn around. This is getting crazy. And they're like, and me and Gabe are kind of on the same page, but the rest of our friends are like, nah, like it's all right, man. Let's just like, come on, we're trying to go out. And me and Gabe were like, I don't know about that. So then there's like 2 police helicopters come out, and they're like flashing the light like right over our area. And it literally, at this point, looks like an action movie scene. Like, there's cops everywhere. There's helicopters. We're just walking along this street, and I'm like, listen, I'm turning around. Y'all can keep going if you want, but I'm out. And so finally, we were able to convince them to leave. And, like, as we're leaving, like, we probably almost didn't make it out because they were blocking off the roads, like I said. But then, like, we see, like, more helicopters. And, like I said, it literally just looks like a movie scene. And now, I mean, living in LA for a bit, that kind of is a little bit of the norm. Like, bro, we have a police helicopter flying over like every night. It's pretty crazy. I've never seen a police chopper in Orlando, and like maybe that's just because of where I live, but like I've never seen one.
Damn, again?
They're terrible, bro. They suck. That's
Why don't you use your right AirPod?
because that one's been messing up too. Like it works, but the battery's been bad. So I honestly just need to get new ones at some point.
What do you do at the gym?
Hmm?
What do you use for the gym?
I have over the head ones.
Oh, don't you sweat in those?
Not much. I don't really have a lot of hair like you. Or a beard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not... if I had long hair, yeah, it probably wouldn't be nice. But anyways, yeah. So that was just it was just really, really crazy to, like, experience. And I was like, I mean, nowadays on the news, you hear about, like, mass shootings all the time or just, like, open shooters. I was like, I'm not taking that risk to go out to the club. Like, it's not worth... this hour or two of fun, because it was already late. I'm like, this hour or two of fun we might have. I mean, we've never been to the spot. So now knowing LA too, like, you have to know specific spots. Like, you can't just look up a club and go to it, because either you're not going to be able to get in. Like, we also went to this other club in Beverly Hills when we were visiting, and we go up to the front of the door, and the dude's like, and it's, granted, this is a lot of higher end profile. Like if you go to anywhere in Vegas or LA or probably New York, like if it's just you and a bunch of guys, it's gonna be a little bit harder to get into a club. But there's like 5 of us, and they're like $100 each, and we're like, no, that's insane. We're not paying that. So we walk down the road a little bit, and then we're like, all right, let's just like go somewhere else. So we turn back around, and the dude comes up to us, and he's like, all right, $20, and we're like, all right, I mean, that's a fair... $20 is a fair cover. $100 is not a fair cover at all. So it was just crazy. But he probably honestly, one could tell that like we weren't like in the know. Like I feel like you can kind of sense that off of people. So he's probably, oh, these dudes are visiting. Like they don't know. We'll just charge them. And probably a lot of guys will pay that. You know what I mean? But the problem is that even when you pay that $20 cover, if you go into a club in LA, then the drinks are $25 each. So like, unless you have $200 to just blow that night, you're not getting any sort of buzz. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. It's the nightlife in LA is crazy.
Bro, that place sucked anyways. Like, unless you got a bottle package and, like, sat in the lounge seats, like, we literally stood there for, like, 2 hours and did not. Like, there was no room for anything.
And I went back once after that, a couple months, and because me and some friends were just going out, and we went there, and the only reason it was a lot more fun is because they had a mechanical bull, so that was fun. That was a good time.
Oh, that's fire.
I don't know why it was such a random thing to just have, nightclub in Beverly Hills, but but
Hey, rich people want to
those
ride
are
bulls
some
too.
of our fast time in LA experiences.
Yeah, bro. I wish we had more. I feel like we have more LA stories than we do Orlando stories.
Well,
when we live
I
in
feel like it's
Orlando.
just harder to remember at this point, because it's like we have been out of that lifestyle for so long that like if we went back through like our snap memories, we'd probably be like, oh, I remember like that's happened that, but it's just been so like long ago now. I've been out here almost 2 years, and so it's like it's just hard to kind of remember all those experiences, especially like for the most part when if we went out downtown or somewhere, we were like drinking and stuff. So you obviously don't have the same memories that you would if you weren't. You know what I mean?
Well, also, a lot of your guys' memories of going downtown, I wasn't there because I wasn't.
That is true.
I wasn't old enough.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of the group. I'm 24. Everyone else
All right,
is like
bro.
33, and I'm just kidding. Are you the oldest?
I think so. Either me or I think JJ is close. I don't know how old E-Man is, but I mean he didn't really come out with us a lot.
The oldest, but, yeah. Regardless, everyone was always older than me, so it's like by the time I was of age, like we only went out for like a year, and then we all got broke, and then COVID happened.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like that was another thing too. Is like by the time like I was like, yeah, let's go downtown. It was like I couldn't. Like we still couldn't. So I don't have as many memories as you guys. So that makes sense. Yeah, visiting Gavin and stuff like that. The Robinson's nice. I like the Robinson. It's a nice little. We need to go to Mathers when you come back. It's like a speakeasy, and it's like, bro, craft cocktails. Like it's a very very cool. It's like when you go in, it's like you're on a movie set.
Okay. I love a good movie set.
You didn't go?
I don't know. That sounds familiar.
I'll cut this out. You might have gone with me and Dylan.
I want to check out. I think they have
Jalen.
like a new like 90s themed bar or something like that.
I'm sure they do. I think they do. I think I know which one you're talking about, where everything's like Barbie and like neon and I went to that. That was one of the Cocktails and Screams. That place, I think it's like Player One or whatever. I don't know what it's called. That place and then the Alice in Wonderland bar are all owned by the same people. So you can buy those like wristbands and you can get into all three of them.
Wow, that's dope. I love a good themed bar, bro. Those are like my favorites.
Yeah, bro. The Alice in Wonderland one is sick.
Dang, I wish I don't know if they have a lot. I feel like they'd have a lot of those out here, but not that I've come across yet. But yeah, bro, the Cocktails and Screams. If you're ever in Orlando for whatever reason, you should definitely, and you're looking for like a good time out, Cocktails and Screams is really cool. It's like this horror themed bar. Let me make sure I said that right. It's this horror themed bar. And they have like these really cool drinks that come in like some really cool glasses, and like some of them have like dry ice in them, so they're like smoking. And a lot of the times they have like a live musician out there. Everybody's like, they have like Michael Myers and Jason walking around. Like the bartenders are like dressed up in costumes. They have like posters everywhere and like memorabilia. It's really, I love like, yeah, I love scary movies. So it's obviously the spot for me. But if you don't, I guess it probably wouldn't be the spot for you. But it's a fun time. You should check it out. But I want to check out some of those for sure.
Yeah, you should at least go once. Like Cocktails and Screams is one of those places that I'm like, yo, it might not be your cup of tea, but you definitely got to go.
Yeah, I would
at least
agree.
once. Like it's just cool.
Yeah, it's just
you
cool,
know what I
man.
mean?
Like if you're just trying to be cool like us, you should check it out.
Yeah, and if you're not, it's because you're lame. It's all good. We need lame people so we can be cool, or else we're just all cool and then no one's
all right,
cool.
well, one more thought. I had this idea that I want to do, which I'm putting it out there, so hopefully whoever's listening doesn't steal this. But
Someone outside is using the leaf blower.
I can hear that on your headphone, but I can't hear it on. It sounds like an hair dryer.
Yeah, keep
so
talking.
I have this idea that I want to do whenever money permits and I have a lot of disposable income. We're manifesting that out into the world. I want to create. It's basically like a Dave and Buster's, but you have a lot more interactive games. such as like there's almost a host at every station. So like if you're playing trivia, for example, like you're actually playing like a good 20, 30-minute game of trivia with either like your friends or random people. I like to have some like sort of shooting like basketball game. Like you could even have like certain board games like Twister out there, but like an interactive version that like somebody's hosting and like you actually get eliminated. Because like I love arcades for one, and like Dave and Buster's obviously they're one of the most mainstream ones. So like it's a lot of fun, but a lot of the times I'm like they add new games here and there, but there's never like anything super like if you play a game you're there for like I don't know 3 minutes, which is cool if you're looking for like a quick game night. But I think it would be fun if like you could have like for example like even like having a whole Guitar Hero set up with like the guitars, the drums, a singer, and you're on like a stage and like you actually go up there and perform like but on the Guitar Hero stuff. Like I think it would be fun to make a more like interactive spot like that, especially like if and it's like obviously adult aimed so that you can like have a couple drinks and stuff like that, but even like having a little space for like a Nerf gun war or like a room where you guys can play like I don't know, hide and seek or something. I don't really know. I mean, I have not like really fleshed out the idea, and I mean, it's probably very, very, very expensive to do. So, I don't know if I'll ever do it, but it's just a thought I had. I'm like, I think that would be fun, man. And I think it would be successful. I mean, if Dave and Buster's is, I couldn't imagine this one isn't, but I'm sure it takes a lot of capital to start something like that.
Of course. And you can do a bunch of simulators. I think that'd be a dope idea, bro. Me and my friends, when we were younger, we had the idea of, like, obviously, assuming money isn't an issue. I really hope that doesn't come out in the audio, bro. He's like, it's my grandpa. Yeah. But anyway, so we used to always be like, yo, what if we bought an abandoned mall and made the whole thing into a massive paintball arena?
Yeah.
But, like,
yeah, something
you
like
could
that.
do something like that with, like, maybe not a whole mall because malls are huge, but like a little plaza and like have it. It's like, this area is the arcade and music room. And then this is the, Nerf gun and whatever room. And then this is the hide and seek manhunt room. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Or just like a fat warehouse.
Because I feel like, especially now with AI and like Vision Pro and all that stuff coming out, obviously that's the way the world is going, but I feel like this could be a cool place for people to just like get back in real life and like have fun with their friends. Like almost if you want to do a game night, but you go out for this game night, So I don't know, man. I think it'd be fun. I honestly wish there was already a spot like that because I would love to go there right now. But
yeah,
if it takes me inventing it, I will.
Even when we went...
Nobody steal that idea.
Even when we went to that arcade place.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We'll fight you. Even when we went to the arcade in LA for your birthday, like that place was the same as Dave and Buster, where like a lot of the games are short lived, more or less, for lack of a better word. But like it was still like so fun because like for Guitar Hero, for example, there's only the guitars and like you can only like back up like 2 feet. But like we'd all get around and watch. You know what I mean? So that would be cool if there was like a proper way to watch them play, and you got more than just a guitar.
That's what I'm saying.
That
it would be
really
cool.
fun.
And I think there's like so many different ways you could go about it, and different ways, and obviously like interchange them every year so that they don't get stale. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we can collaborate.
Bro, you could host competition.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's so much you could do with it, and like if you just find the right space for it. Yeah. So I don't know. We're just speaking dreams into existence. We're getting our thoughts, our ideas out there. So, maybe one day.
It's going to be called Catching Up Arcades. Catching Up Games.
We have a podcast studio for people to come record? That'd be cool.
I would love to do something like that. Like have a podcast studio where people can just like rearrange and like
that would be nice.
Pick from different setups and like they just go in. I think we did it I think we talked about that on one of our past episodes where this person rents out a room for their podcast, but another podcast also rents out that room. and they saw the video of what they do in that other person's podcast.
I mean, yeah, it's actually kind of. I feel like that happens a lot more than we think, especially like. I mean, I don't know how it works like with Barstool, but I think some of them like they go to like an office and like record in a Barstool like space. I don't know if they have different setups for all the different podcasts or anything, but I don't know how many people actually do it out of their bedrooms like us. I mean, our studios.
I know a couple of people do it out of their cars.
I mean, I feel like that's just...
Which is a whole different talent. Cramming it into your room is one talent. Doing it in your car.
Because, like, are you leaving the car on? Really, is it getting hot in there? Is it getting musty?
That's what I'm wondering. How do you plug everything in?
That's a good question.
Are you just, like, have to have your laptop charged and your phone fully charged and just make sure you don't die? Like
portable chargers
not
on
you,
deck.
But, like, the devices.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. I don't know, man. That is kind of crazy. But if they can do carpool karaoke, they can do anything, bro.
That is true. That is true. They can do anything. If they
All right, man. Well, I think that's been a pretty meaty episode.
Yeah, we talked about quite a bit. I thought this was going to be a full blown sports episode until about halfway.
I had to do that 180, bro. I had to, you know.
I know
switch
you
up
did.
the flow.
I think it saved the episode, But let us know in the comments if you want more episodes where Tyler's teaching me about sports because I know nothing.
I'm not
or
like,
if you want us to
just
like talk about nothing.
Or anything, but I do tend to tune in from time to time. So, you know, maybe.
More so than me. You know names. I don't even know teams.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in again this week whenever this episode drops. If you like these Vault episodes, let us know.
Even we don't know.
And, you know, we try to keep these Vault episodes a little bit less current specifically so that, like, you know, we're not talking about a song that just released and this comes out like 2 months later. So if you guys have any like broad topics that you want us to like cover or like anything you want to know about us, let us know. We can...
Or advice.
Yeah, like if you have advice for us, let us know,
but
man. We'll take some advice too.
Oh, I think we should do a Vault episode where it's just a Q&A.
Well,
like
yeah,
you guys send us your questions.
We got to get Q&As first, but yeah, I like that train of thought.
See, I'm the idea guy.
Cool. Well, I think we have everything set up now. So as it stands right now, Catchin Up _podcast is Instagram and TikTok. And YouTube is Catchin Up Pod.
And we're working on making
we had
it the
some
same
technical difficulties, so
_podcast.
You'll probably know by the time this episode comes out for sure. So definitely, you know, if you already follow us, you don't need this information. But yeah, we just got everything set up. First episode drops today at the time of this recording, so that's cool. It's exciting. Yeah,
just to give you a hint of when we're recording
know,
this.
you know, it's pretty interesting. I think it'll be cool for you guys to go back and see the difference. So
I want to know how long, like, if we look different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Bulking versus cutting.
Sometimes I let my beard grow out.
Yeah, that beard for sure for you. But yeah, we appreciate y'all tuning in again this week. And yeah, catch us in the next one, man. Keep catching up with us every week and seeing what tomfoolery we want to talk about.
Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you are listening to audio platforms, which we're just the Catchin Up Podcast on. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review, preferably.
At least 4.5.
And if it's not a 5-star review, just give us a 5-star review and then tell us what we need to do for us to earn it. I almost said in your name, amen. In your name, I pray, amen. Just because I was doing that. Anyways, my name's Gabriel.
I'm Tyler, and we'll see you next time.